One of the most misunderstood things about utilizing Tonex Pedal is the often discussed global input trim. Now, I've done a bunch of videos on this topic, but it seems like a lot of people still don't really understand what's going on with this, and they feel they have the need to constantly go into global input trim and adjust it depending on the guitar that they're using. Now, I'm of the belief that you set that one time. It's a global setting. Set it one time to the setting that's going to be most useful for you, and then leave it alone. There's other ways we can deal with tweaking a tone model depending on the guitar we have, and that's going to be the gain knob. And I'm going to illustrate that today in a very quick, concise fashion. So my setup today is I have Tonex Pedal down here just off screen, and I have it set right now to start at a global input trim of -3, which is where I like to run it. That coincides perfectly with how I have my audio interface set up. So when I'm playing a tone model plugged into my audio interface, triggering the tone model off of Tonex software, it's going to sound identical to Tonex Pedal with a setting of -3 on the global input trim. That is the setting I use to capture all of my tone models. Now, for somebody who sets it higher or lower, it's not a problem because we can deal with that within the tone model itself using the gain knob. So when we're looking at the screen here, what you're going to hear when this channel is engaged, like now, is Tonex software, and this is utilizing my latest release, which is the Brit 45 Mojo Tone Model Collection. The link is below in the description, and you can hear that just has that amp, which is the Marshall Studio JTM, just kind of cranked up with a nice fuzzy vintage drive. Now, when I solo this channel here, you're going to hear the exact same total model with the exact same settings, this time being triggered from Tonex Pedal with the global input trim on -3. So you can hear that those two tones sound very much the same. And I've tried to get the output volume matched exactly. Now, here's the thing. Some people like to go into their global input trim, and I'm going to do that right now. And I'm going to head over to our input trim, and I'm going to change this now. I'm going to crank this up to where a lot of people seem to like to run it. Let's go up to +8, quite dramatic. So I've boosted this by 11 dB from where I started. You can now hear, I'm going to bring it back down. You can hear the tone model gets much more saturated as I do that. Now, obviously, that's going to sound different than the software. So let's say we were, going into this tone model with a Strat, and we felt the need to go into the global input trim and crank it up. We don't need to do that. What we can do is just go, and I'm going to show you this inside the software. All we need to do is go to our gain control. So basically, if I take this gain control and let's just crank it up to 10 as a starting point, now let's listen to that. In comparison to Tonex Pedal, with the input trim cranked up to +8. Basically, the tones are pretty much indistinguishable from one another, so I didn't ever have a need to go into Tonex Pedal and crank that input trim up. I could have simply gone back to the -3 setting I started with here on Tonex Pedal, gone to get out of my global settings, gone to my gain control and crank that up. And maybe we didn't even want to go that high. Maybe we just wanted to crank it up a little bit. I have the ability to use that gain control to control the input level, as you can hear. And I can go back to its original setting. So we have to realize that gain control within a tone model is just setting the input level in the same way that the global input trim is also doing. The big advantage to setting the gain level within the tone models, we can save that as a preset and have it recalled. So if we had two guitars that we were using that we wanted to have a little bit more of a boost to it, we could save a preset for a Strat. We could save a preset for a Les Paul or any other guitar with that gain set exactly as we want it without having to constantly access the global input trim. I hope hope you find that useful, and I hope that that clears it up. Hope you enjoy the music on the way out of the demo for the tone models you heard in this video. Links are below if you're so inclined you want to grab a copy. Thanks so much for sharing your time with me. Talk soon.